This right here, this moment where Trump is calling the National Guard to LA to go against protesters that are exercising their First Amendment right to protest the illegal detainment of people by ICE. This fork in the road that we're facing is when people tend to run away.
There's this huge, massive ICE raiding that is going on right now in LA, and there's also a huge protest. Let's talk about it. Okay. Hey, beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome to my channel. How have you all been? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video, I want to talk about the ICE situation that's going on in the US, especially in the LA region. So if you guys don't know what's going on, I'm just going to break it down and let's get into it. So apparently, it's been reported that there's a group of people wearing the ICE uniform. Sometimes they are masked. They go to random places like the mall, schools, and randomly they are picking people from the Hispanic descent, the Hispanic community. Just randomly picking people that they feel like they are undocumented or they don't have their paper or they are not citizens of the United States. And if you guys know, the LA area is one area that has the large amount of undocumented immigrants, especially from the Hispanic community. And so they are literally like picking people up and all that. And this got a lot of the LA people and residents really agitated, and they decided to protest. In the midst of this whole protest, Donald Trump decided that, you know what, if you guys are going to protest, if you guys are going to give a pushback, then I'm going to give a pushback. And Donald Trump decided to send military force to maintain peace and order in LA. And as time he sent this, the LA governor decided to, like, you know what, Donald Trump does not have any right to send the US Army or any army to his state, because the president can only do that when the governor asks for it. But at this point, the governor did not ask for it, and the governor literally saying that, you know what, we're going to handle our thing ourselves, take your people out of here. But Donald Trump still is not budging, and the LA governor is saying that he's going to sue Donald Trump. But we all know how this is going to play out. If he sues Donald Trump, probably Donald Trump is going to win this. But apparently, there's this huge pushback, and they are claiming that the protest is not being peaceful, and that is why Donald Trump is sending the military to LA. But also, people have shown and proved that the protest is a peaceful protest.
Do not listen to what the people are saying. LA is not a war right now. I am in the heart of the protest right now, and things have been so peaceful ever since we moved away from the police officers. There was about 2 hours straight of the police officers down from the rooftops of buildings like these. Anyone who's saying that these protests are violent is not here. They are not here. What's violent about this? What's violent? No violence. We're currently headed down to the crypto. Personally, I feel like if we aren't protesting around the federal buildings, the crypto and all these expensive buildings is where we should be. It forces the hand of these LAPD officers. Instead of getting to ignore the issues because they're pushing us to these immigrant communities, we're going to go to the communities that they don't want us at. And let me remind you guys, there is no violence being had over here. If the violence starts, I guarantee it'll be because the police officers coming over here.
And they just want the US government to stop picking up their family members, their grandmom, their uncles, their aunties, even children that they are picking up and putting them in detention center. They need them to stop, because it's been recorded that sometimes they go to people that are even legitimately trying to get their papers done, going to a court proceeding and court hearing, and they're just picking them or locking them up randomly and all that. And the LA residents are saying that they are not here for it. Like, they are not here for it, so they are protesting. But even this protest has come with a lot of violence from the authorities, because people are being hit, tear gas, and all that. And some people are using this opinion to do stupid things. But yeah, anyway, guys, let's go check out people's response to this entire thing, because also some people in the black community saying that they are going to sit this one out, that Hispanic people voted for Donald Trump, so they are getting what they deserve now. Why some black people are saying that, you know what, we're all in this together, let's fight this together. So you guys let me know what you guys think about it. Do you think the Hispanic community deserve exactly what's coming to them? Because half of them voted for Donald Trump. Do you think so? Even though as the black community was literally shouting and screaming that everybody vote for Kamala Harris. So is it that now they got exactly what they wanted? Let me know your own take down in the comment section. So let's go check out people's response to this ICE raid in LA, and then we'll come back and talk more.
How can you lack so much compassion? What if your mom, your dad, was immediately just taken from you as a white person, as a black person, as anyone? How can you just accept that? This is not, bro, this is so unreal. And how can people just lack compassion? How? Why can't you just imagine yourself just waking up one day with your family not there anymore? So LA businesses are getting raided by ICE, or some people that are wearing stuff that says ICE on it with their faces all covered up. People are getting over, being literally fired, literally. And this is supposed to be life right now. We're not going to get treated like humans because they don't see us like humans. They lack compassion. How can you lack compassion? How? I understand that you're trying to get criminals out. Why are you going to workplaces where people are just trying to work? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and all these who voted for Trump and all these want the immigrants gone, all these, where do they go on vacation? They literally go on vacation to Mexico, Cancun, Colombia, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Puerto Vallarta. Yeah, all of your little famous white little influencers, your Caucasian friends, they voted for Trump, but they go to vacation on our land. They go take a break from their reality in our reality, in our land where we struggled for a better future. And nobody calls them aliens or terrorists when they're on our land, right? But what do? We welcome them with open arms, let them explore our land peacefully. They enjoy our beaches, our foods, our traditions, videotape everything that goes on in our communities, in our country, like we're exotic animals to them. And yet we're terrorists, aliens, criminals for living on stolen land that isn't even theirs.
ICE, Trump supporters, if you're a Trump supporter, unfollow me right now. I don't give a bro. If you're not keeping up with the news, there's ICE raids going on. They've been going on since last week in LA. San Francisco, like 2 days ago, people went to go do check-ins with immigration, and ICE went there to go detain them, and 4 of them were children. So I don't know why these Trump supporters are always like, oh, they just need to do it the right way. And the fucking Latino for Trumps, that was their favorite thing to say. They just got to do it the right way. They got to do it. We did it the right way. Bitch, they're trying to do it the right way, and they're setting them up. If you got these check-ins or whatever with immigration, man, be fucking careful. Yeah. Be careful. Be careful. What the children? And then they're going to a graduation, bro. That's taking crazy. Parents, their kids are getting ready to walk the stage, and imagine you're up there and then you see your parents getting snatched up and you don't even know what's gonna happen with you. Where are the criminals that we were talking about that y'all were gonna get? I don't see any criminals. They're going to people's workplaces, they're taking children, they're taking people by mistake that are citizens. Like, what? Isn't your job supposed to be do background checks and look for the people that you're really supposed to look for, not just profile people, bro? What the they're pulling up to these protests deep. They're going to war. I ain't ever seen them that deep when they needed to be that deep. Bro, just be safe out there. Be safe. Tengan cuidado. Bro, like, what the and if you can be a voice and you could show out for your family, show them, but be careful and be safe, bro. But this is just so up, and bro, like, but they don't doing that shit in LA, because LA don't be playing, bro. I don't know if there's anything going on out here in the Bay Area besides that San Francisco shit, but everybody just be on the lookout and stay informed. Inform your family members that might not know too much. Tell them, I don't know, bro, like...
Stokely Carmichael, a Black civil rights activist, said that in order for nonviolence to work, your opponent has to have a conscience, and the United States has none. Okay. I think that unfortunately, not for us, but for our current administration, they drank the Kool-Aid. They ate up the propaganda about the image and marketing of Los Angeles and its citizens. You know, the preppy, soft, tolerant, overprivileged, too busy with the complicated Starbucks drink in their hand to do anything about anything stereotype. And to be fair, plenty of other cities, states, countries thought that about us as well. And luckily, they're finding out the hard way that while a lot of us tend to project this image of financial stability and privilege, most of us are one missed paycheck away or one medical emergency away from being homeless, thanks to the lack of regulation when it comes to rent and mortgage prices. Meaning that a majority of us are excruciatingly angry, have almost nothing to lose, and we tend to be more left-leaning when it comes to our politics. Not to mention that Los Angeles happens to have the largest population of undocumented immigrants in the United States. What did they honestly think was going to happen during these ICE raids? That people were going to get on their knees, plead with the police to stop, and recommend them places to get bottomless mimosas for brunch? The old way of protesting is gone because people have woken up to the fact that it's not effective. So just like the citizens of Los Angeles have adapted by using different strategies of protesting, we suggest that our current administration adapts to the times and shuts this crap down, regardless of what that beady-eyed, body-shaped challenge, small hands, having man has to say.
Let me start with this. If they're detaining U.S. Marshals and 9-year-olds in the same sweep, we're not safe. None of us. Because ICE just grabbed Kapi Lame, a global celebrity from TikTok fame, in Vegas. They grabbed him in Vegas because he was Black, because he could be taken. And he's lucky it only ended with embarrassment because others, they vanish. This isn't 2019. This isn't family separations at the border. This is LA, downtown, Eastside, Torrance, San Pedro. A 9-year-old was arrested after school in front of classmates. Not detained, arrested. A child. Arrested. Families were locked in a courthouse basement for over 12 hours with no food, no water, and babies crying in the dark.
That's crazy.
A U.S. Marshal, one of their own, was cuffed and dragged off in Arizona because his skin color didn't match the badge. You can't tell me that this isn't a racial purge disguised as enforcement. So let's talk about the Gestapo. You've heard the name, but maybe not the tactics. Because this is textbook. No warning, no warrants, no explanation. Plainclothes agents, mass disappearances, and children, babies, being turned into leverage. The Gestapo wasn't scary just because of their uniforms. They were terrifying because they answered to no one. That's ICE now. That's DHS now. And that's what's happening in our cities right now. And if that wasn't enough, 2,000 National Guard troops were dropped off in LA. Not for wildfires, not for disaster relief, but to make sure order is maintained while families are being kidnapped. They're using riot gear and tear gas on undocumented people who showed up for check-ins. Not criminals, not gang members, mothers, fathers, caregivers, kids. Tell me again how this isn't about race. Tell me again how this isn't about power. Tell me again how this is legal. They're dragging people out of schools, homes, courthouses. And it's not just happening to immigrants, it's happening to anybody who looks deportable. Which really means if you're not white, you're a target. If you don't have status, you're disposable. And if you look like somebody without papers, you're vulnerable. And nobody's coming to save you. Listen, I know this is heavy. I know you're tired. I know you've been surviving. Barely. But this is state terror. Full stop. And I'm not here to say fight back or call your reps. Because some of y'all have been doing that for years. I'm here to say you matter. You're not alone. And if they come for you, they come for all of us. Because this country has never needed a reason to hurt us. Only a system that lets it happen in plain sight. And now you're watching it, you can't unsee it. So don't tell me it's not that bad. Tell that to the kids crying in the courthouse basements. Tell that to the mothers calling out names in detention centers. Tell that to your neighbors before they're gone. ICE isn't keeping us safe. They're making sure that we never feel safe again. And if this isn't the modern day Gestapo, then history lied to us. And y'all know damn well it didn't.
This is when people run away. This right here, this moment where Trump is calling the National Guard to LA to go against protesters that are exercising their First Amendment right to protest the illegal detainment of people by ICE. This fork in the road that we're facing is when people tend to run away. Because now is when you are really facing the scary thing front and center. So, this is where you decide if you are going to capitulate and you are going to go against your values for the people that are on the left side of things, whether you are going to accept some rights, not all, whether you're going to accept some rights for you and none for others, because that's easier, because you have some level of privilege that allows that, or you're going to stand by what you've said and by your intent and by your values and continue to move this forward. It is scary. I'm very aware of that. But right now, these ICE raids have gotten more and more and more aggressive. And this is something that is only going to get worse. And it's not just going to be LA, it's going to be many other cities. And I'm especially asking this of white people. Are you going to show up? And I'm not just saying, typing in a comment section, being like, yeah, no. Are you going to show up and do what you can to support people in fighting for their rights? Even when it's scary, even when it doesn't directly impact you. All of this is a group project, okay? And if you don't want the first it was poem to be a reality, this is the moment where you choose to actually stand up and stand on business. Right here. This is where you unpack all of the tenets of white supremacy, especially the right to comfort, and especially individualism. This is a community project. Part of why you're seeing the response in LA is because of that community aspect. What is happening right now is horrific. It is so sad. And I am so happy that there are people in LA that are actually standing up right now. But the response from this administration is very scary. And I'm very well aware of that. And I know there are concerns about martial law and the Insurrection Act and the military and blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you right now, if you comply in advance, they won already. And it doesn't even matter. But some people might still choose to not do anything, understanding all of this. But I need you to know, if you sit back and watch this happen and just say, oh my God, this is scary and this is so bad, and don't try to find some way that you can contribute to helping this move forward, resisting this, you are leaning into your privilege that allows you to do that. Because when you hit the fork in the road that we're in right now, because of the response to LA, that is when we marginalized people really see who's standing by what they've been saying. Is when you have to look the scary thing in the face. So, what are you gonna do?
Why are black people saying this is not our fight making you upset? I've seen video after video from Latino creators or Latino people coming online pleading to black people to put our bodies at the forefront of this fight against illegal ICE raids, against deportation, against roundups, against undocumented people being rounded up and families being disjointed. But there's several reasons as to why you should not be shocked that black people are sitting this one out. You guys all remember that this is a subset of your community last year. you're also aware that across the board, overwhelmingly black people voted in favor of the candidate that had black interests, Latino interests, Asian interests at heart. Where if you look at the sentiments of what that vote represents, half of your community voted for this. Half of your community said to black people. Half of your community said, we don't care about you. Half of your community said you wanted to be white aligning and white adjacent. And now you're being reminded of the fact that you're not. We have to have the ability to hold multiple truths when we speak to each other as communities. The truth is that Latinos are not in a monolith. It's just an all-encompassing umbrella that they put you under. And that, yes, the majority of the people that voted for Donald Trump and were doing that were Cuban and were other people in different parts of the country, and undocumented people in Mexico, in California are being impacted by that. That is true. But what's also true is that there is a history of black people fighting and being at the forefront of civil rights in this country since the inception of civil rights in this country. And it's always been pushback and non-solidarity from multiple communities who are voting and always going against black people. So this particular time when black women especially really came out in droves and really fought forward with our votes, and you guys didn't do it, your community didn't do it. It's like, why would I fight now? Why would I fight now? So I just need you, like, if you're gonna come online and make pleas and ploys to black people, because I've seen so many video, start by acknowledging the fact that your community has colorism, anti-blackness, and voted against your own best self-interest. Start with that. Don't come in here and ask black people just to put our bodies at the forefront of the line, because we've been doing that for a century. Secondly, I think the majority of black people who are saying that they're sitting this one out are using their voice in other ways or having solidarity with you in other ways, but they're not going to protest. They're not going to go get hit by rubber bullets. They're not going to put themselves in harm's way or make that effort again, because you guys, it's time for you to fight for yourself. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you. Now, there's also a bunch of black people online who are asking black people to come out and fight for everyone, and everyone needs to fight, and this is our fight as well. While I do agree with a lot of those sentiments, because if they're doing it to brown citizens, they can do it to black citizens, and they can use the Congo and Haiti as an excuse to just racially profile all of us. That's very true. But you have to stop telling black people to put themselves on the line when black people are exhausted. Black people are exhausted. Black people have done so much for all communities in this country. At a certain point, there has to be a time where they need to rest. And right now, a bunch of people are resting, and that's fine. But there will always be people in our community who fight. Like, I'm using my voice every fucking day on this app. I've made an update about every single thing going on with ICE raids, locations, where they are, what's happening with Trump. I do it every day on my social page, and it's exhausting. Like, I'm actually exhausted. Today I put up like 10 posts. I'm exhausted, but I'm doing it because I know my voice has reach, and I know that people need to hear it. And that's my personal choice. I'm not doing it because I feel obligated. So stop trying to make people feel obligated to put themselves on the line again. I say that to say it's a lot of shit happening in this country. I know that people and families, I was in tears last night seeing people self-deport themselves and people getting rounded up, grandfathers and grandmothers and abuelitas getting taken away, who are the people who are the fabric of this city in LA. But I just know that it doesn't end here, and there are black people on that list. There are black countries on that list. There are black countries on that list, and I'll say that to you again. There are black countries on that list.
This conversation of immigration, ICE, Donald Trump, and the US is really crazy. You guys let me know what are your thoughts and what you think. And let me know if you're in the LA area. How is the situation like right now, presently? Because I also want to know. I know I'm keeping up to date what's happening. But please go down, share your thoughts, share your opinion, share your point of view. But please, as always, keep it respectful here on this channel. We're allowed to disagree, but do it in a very respectful way. So go ahead, feel free, share your thought. For me, it's really crazy. First, let's talk about the election. I remember I did a lot of story about the election, and we saw how the election plays out, where if we saw a lot of Hispanic people talking about how, oh, Donald Trump wants to get rid of the bad eggs. Some of them, and it happened. It all showed in the poll. We saw over 50, or half of them. I think 45, almost 50%. Half of it voted for Donald Trump, and the other half voted for Kamala Harris. And what they're doing is so disgusting. But clearly, I don't. This is not an immigrant. Like everybody already know what Donald Trump stands for. Let's even get that out of it. Donald Trump doesn't like people of color, doesn't like black people. This is the same person that gave asylum to white South Africans, claiming that white South Africans were being unalive when that is not even true. So let's even get there. So this man would do anything to protect his kind, which is white people. Let's just say it the way it is, which is white people. That he will protect them. And the fact that they are chasing Hispanic people off the land of LA, try just picking people up randomly. It's really hard, saddening. Seen a couple of videos of people that have lived in the US, immigrants that moved to the US. Some of them undocumented, will I say most of them undocumented, that are deporting themselves. Old grandmothers that are leaving, mothers that are leaving their children behind because now their children are citizens and they cannot leave. They once they leave, they can't come back. Leaving, I saw there was this story of this woman that left, and that was the first time in 30 years she was seeing our own mother she left back in Mexico. Those are very disheartening stories because I feel like when people have given so much of themselves into a place, I feel like there should just be some type of compass, especially when they are not criminals, especially when they are not causing trouble, they're just living their day-to-day life. I do appreciate the way the LA area people came out because we've not seen anything like this too. But also another thing we also need to look at is that this LA raid and all that, and how Donald Trump handled it and all that, I feel like it's also a power move for Donald Trump. I feel like Donald Trump is that one of those people that, all those men that they push their boundary and see how far they can go with you. I feel like that's what Donald Trump is doing with the US. He just wants to push the boundary and see how far and how much he can get away with it. So his own is that, if he push and cross state line and state authorities and overrule them, and state governments sue him and he wins the case, that means that gives him the power to do whatever he wants in any state, because it's the same pattern that will go on and on. So I do appreciate the LA government, or the LA governor, and also the LA people that came out standing up and protesting against this sick, will I say, act that is going on. But also another thing I also want to say is that the people also carrying the act, or will I say the people in the ICE and immigration, and even in the police doing this thing, they're also regular shmigo people, like the people that are doing it too. I've said this thing when it comes to even Nigeria politics, when they use force or military forces like the police, the military army to harm the regular shmigo people, when those people are still on minimum wage and they are struggling as much as the ordinary people are. So I feel like this is a power move for Donald Trump. I feel like he just wanted to test the water, and I know for sure Donald Trump doesn't like black people of color, allegedly, because that man is doing everything just to get at us. And I feel like I understand the black community saying that they are exhausted, they are tired and all that, but I feel like this entire ICE raid is not just to the Hispanic community. I feel like it's also trickled down to the black community. We guys know how the black community is being treated. And we saw Kabile, the funny TikTok guy, how he was deported and all that. And some people say, no, it's in terms of economical, financial stuff, that was why he was deported. No. So I just feel like this is a fight that everybody in the US should fight. And I understand a lot of people voted for Donald Trump to come in. He just didn't come in. I get that, but now everybody have seen how his administration is literally like a joke, and it's doing more harm than good to the people. I feel like this is the time people need to come together and fight. And also, I feel like people are really tired. I feel like generally in the world, a lot of people are tired. A lot of people can't stand the frustration that's coming, especially with the way inflation is going, and it's really hard for people to keep it together. And now you also want to separate people are just going to fight back. And I feel like that's what's happening right now in the US and what's happening right now in LA. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this entire story down in the comment section. Share your thoughts, okay? Love to know what you guys think. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversations. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see, and that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl. Yes, so go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.